Welcome everyone back to week 9 of the AAF Simulated on EA Sports. Once again, we are going to see a game that we never saw before in the actual Alliance of American Football. It is the Orlando Apollos hosting the San Diego Fleet in what is a must-win for both of these teams as we near the playoffs. Both of them 4-4 apiece. 4 wins, 4 losses on the season is as we are now in week 9. Obviously, they are right kind of both on the fringe of making the playoffs. Orlando right now holds second place in the East Division, but a loss here might push them down to 3rd behind Memphis, which would be crazy. Meanwhile, San Diego is still 3rd behind Arizona, but if they can come up with a big win here, they've lost 3 straight, they need to get a win right now. They could at least jump back up to 2nd and hope that Arizona loses. So, once again, a lot on the line for both of these teams, and it'll be really interesting to see what happens in this game. I mean, Orlando, coming into the season, we were expecting them to be one of the best, if not the best teams, and they've been kind of underwhelming. I mean, only 4 wins, certainly could have done a lot more, especially over the last couple of weeks. Meanwhile, San Diego really came out of the gate strong. They were 4-1, and they've dropped 3 straight, and were blown out 26-0 last week against Salt Lake. So that is something that they are definitely going to want to correct in this game today on the road. Once again, as we mentioned, Orlando is going to be home their last 2 weeks. Home San Diego here, and then home to Birmingham. San Diego will close out at home against Arizona in week 10, so that is going to be a massive matchup, especially depending on what happens in this game today. Orlando will be receiving the football, so there goes Donnie Hageman. He'll send it away, and we are underway here in Orlando. On the return, it's Akeem Hunt with the blockers in front of him, and he takes it up past the 30, up to the 32-yard line. So good starting field position for Orlando. And let's take a look at Garrett Gilbert, the signal caller for the Orlando Apollos. And on the season so far, he's been decent. He's thrown for 1,563 yards, completing 70.9% of his passes, 13 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, QB rating 96.7. Starting the season, he was much better. He's really kind of dropped off the last couple of weeks. Garrett Gilbert is going to have to hope that he can have a big performance today. On 1st and 10, they go on the ground. It's Dearness Johnson, excuse me. I don't know why I blanked there for a second. But let's take a look at this offense. The offensive line has been playing pretty dang well this season when you consider everything that they've been through. Dearness Johnson, one of the best backs in the league, 617 yards, averaging 4.8 yards a carry, and 3 touchdowns. He's been an absolute beast. But look at some of the wide receivers they have. Charles Johnson has been a monster, 540 yards and 5 touchdowns on the season. He's been a massive target there for Garrett Gilbert, and I'd expect to see the same thing today, along with Sean Price, a big tight end who's got 346 yards and 4 touchdowns. 2nd and 7, they stay on the ground, and there's Johnson with a little bit of a lane and taken down to 39. Picks up about 3 once again. And let's look at San Diego's defense. They have been playing excellent football this season. You got Andrew Stelter, DeMontre Moore, Miles Nash there on the line. Frank Ginda. AJ Tarpley has been one of the best, if not the best linebacker in this league. He's been outstanding. Another guy, Cameron Kelly. I mean, he's been incredible in every single phase of football. He's been making interceptions, tackles for loss, sacks, forcing fumbles. He's been doing that all season long. He had 2 pick-sixes a couple weeks ago, which is absolutely wild against Arizona. Somehow they still ended up losing that game in the final moments, but still, it was a heck of a performance from Kelly, and definitely expect to see a lot of him today. 3rd and 3 from the 39. Back to throws Gilbert. He's going to go deep down the sidelines, and it's knocked away incomplete, looking in the direction of Johnson. Nice coverage by Ron Brooks, and an interesting decision there by Garrett Gilbert to go deep on 3rd and 3, and now they go 3 and out to start. Not the best start for Orlando. And I understand right there, he did have a one-on-one with Johnson and Brooks up until Jordan Martin came over to help break that one up. But I don't know if maybe that was just Garrett Gilbert or Steve Spurrier, that Orlando's head coach, making that play call. I don't know. I don't really agree with it. They now have to punt. Ben Turk coming on to punt it away for the Orlando Apollos. He'll boot it away, back to receive. Ron Brooks is just going to let it bounce, and it's going to take a bad bounce for Orlando. Goes to the end zone So that'll set him up at the 20-yard line, and out comes Mike Bercovici and his San Diego fleet. On the season, Bercovici has thrown for 2,011 yards, which is the most any quarterback has thrown for, but he's only completing 55% of his passes, which is insane. He's completing barely over half his passes, yet has the most yards in the league. He's got 16 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. Here's the kicker. 3 of those 5 interceptions came last week against Salt Lake. He's done really good with not turning over the football. Last week was bad. Let's see if he can improve on that this week. 1st and 10 from their own 20. What does Mike Martz want them to do? It's Jaquan Gardner trying to cut it upfield, gets taken down immediately. Let's take a look at San Diego's offense. Jaquan Gardner, who just got the carry. He's had a little bit of an underwhelming season considering how he started. Only 385 yards, but he is averaging 5.95 yards a carry. He's got 2 touchdowns as well. Someone that they want to get going in this game for sure. On the wide receiver side, you've got some big names as well. Dantes Ford has been playing great, 463 yards there. Nelson Spruce, 574 yards and 2 touchdowns. Oh, I forgot to mention, Dantes Ford has 5 touchdowns on the season. Another guy that's been making a big impact for his offense. Off-play action, Bercovici, deep in the field, gunslinger, and there's Nelson Spruce. That's a gain of 18 and pushes him up to the 38-yard line. That's the type of play that you want to get this offense going with early. I love the play call by Mike Martz, head coach in San Diego. He knows that his offense has kind of been dead in the water the last couple of weeks. They got blown out by Salt Lake 26-0. In the previous week, I know that they barely lost to Arizona, but remember, a lot of those points came from that defense. Offensively, they were really struggling in that game. So they've got to get it going early here if they want to win this one. Jaquan Gardner on the ground, and he's met immediately in the backfield. How about the Steve Spurrier's defense? Will Hill, the safety, in there, and that's a loss of 2. They just closed that gap immediately. Not a chance for Jaquan Gardner, who is so far off to a slow start in Orlando. And if you're a Fleet fan, that's not something that you want to see. 2nd and 12 from the 36. Off-play action. Bercovici in trouble. Has to let it go, and he's intercepted. Picked off by Cody Riggs at the 49. And Orlando's defense got the big turnover. How about that play from Riggs? Bercovici was rolling out. He felt the pressure coming behind him. Had to get rid of the football and just puts it out a little bit too far for Nelson Spruce. Cody Riggs was in a perfect position to make the play, and he does. Cody Riggs with a massive turnover, and let's see if this can get this Orlando offense going. I mean, I gotta say, I'm pretty disappointed with the way Orlando's offense has been as a whole. They've lost a lot of games that they should have won, mainly because their offense couldn't capitalize by scoring touchdowns when they needed to. Here's a golden opportunity for them to take momentum still early on this first quarter. Let's see if they can take advantage of it. 1st and 10 from the 49. They stay on the ground, and there's a big hole for Johnson. Dearness Johnson inside the 40 and to the 36. And as we've talked about, Dearness Johnson has been an absolute fantastic running back here in Orlando's offense. Just his ability to not only break through defenders, but also to juke and make quick moves. He's an explosive back that definitely deserves a chance at the NFL once this Alliance season is over, without a doubt. 1st and 10 now from the 36. All receivers spread wide for Garrett Gilbert. See what the play call is from Steve Spurrier. Back to throw is Gilbert. Quick pass. It's caught. That's Johnson. Able to stay on his feet, but honestly, loses yardage. Not the best play call there. Coming across a little shallow crosser. Johnson loses 2. Great defense there. You got Frank Ginda coming in. Ron Brooks helping finishing him off. Also, not a great pass by Gilbert there. Johnson has to jump for it, which then makes him kind of move backwards. And it's a loss of 2. 2nd and 12 coming up from the 38. So far, Garrett Gilbert hasn't done much with his arm. I want to start seeing him push it down the field, but not with big, deep passes. Just those solid mid-range gains. There's Johnson breaking away and inside the 35 to the 32. He's already got 27 yards today, and that brings up 3rd and 6. Speaking of those big games from Johnson. I want to try to find from a couple weeks ago. He was on fire. Yeah, back in Week 7 against Atlanta, he had 125 yards on just 19 carries. When you get him going, he's unstoppable. 3rd and 6. Big third down. Gilbert with time to throw. Across the middle, it's complete. First down to the 20. That's Chris Thompson, the wide receiver who actually had the first reception in the AAF Simulated. That one goes for 12, and Orlando moves the chains. And this time, it's a perfect throw from Garrett Gilbert across the middle. Finds his man in stride, puts it right in the numbers. Can't get more accurate than that. Garrett Gilbert with a beauty. And Orlando's in business. And this is how the game can change so quickly, because at first it looked like San Diego was going to get some momentum with forcing a 3 and out. A couple nice passes to Nelson Spruce. But since then, Orlando got the turnover. And now in the red zone. Gilbert to throw. Darts it across the middle. It's caught. That's Jalen Marshall, who is able to pick up a first down. Kind of able to roll over the defender and pick up another first down. Now you're 1st and goal at the 10. Four plays here to get in the end zone for Orlando. Let's see if they can pull it off. Coming out of the gate strong after that turnover. 1st and 10. Well, 1st and goal. Back to throw. Gilbert checks it outside. It's caught. That's Sean Price, but he only gains a yard. 2nd and goal from the 9. And Price, he's going to be a big target down here in the red zone, especially with his height, with his strength, and with his size. See what Spurrier decides to dial up here on 2nd down. Might want to go on the ground. No, they're going to stay in the air. It's Gilbert. Quick pass across the middle. It's caught by Charles Johnson, but he's a yard short of the sticks. Well, the goal line. And it'll bring up 3rd and inches. Massive 3rd down right now for the Apollos. And something that we've seen throughout this season is them settling for short field goals that come back to bite them later on in games. Can they avoid doing that today? On the ground, Johnson walks right into the end zone. Dearness Johnson scores, and Orlando's up 6-0 early on in this first quarter. Well, actually, a minute and a half left. But anyways, Johnson finds the end zone. Easy peasy, just walks right in, and that's his 4th touchdown of the season. Johnson already having a huge impact in this game, and Steve Spurrier's offense is able to get on board first here at home. Two-point try now for the Apollos to try to make it an 8-point game in this first quarter. Gilbert will have to throw quickly, and it's knocked away. Great defense by San Diego. That's Eric Pinkins and AJ Tarpley in there, getting a hand on it, making sure that Garrett Gilbert could not complete that pass. Regardless, Orlando does get the touchdown, and they're up 6-0. Mike Martz now, he's going to figure out what to do with Bercovici. He has now thrown 4 straight interceptions without throwing a touchdown over the last 5 quarters. That's not a good stat line. And again, it's weird because opening up the season, he was looking fantastic. They just haven't been the same. After that big win against Salt Lake in Week 5, there's been a few tough losses in a row. Elliott Fry kicks it away. Brian Brown to receive, and he'll take it out of the end zone. On the return, he swung down to 23. Not a great return, but still relatively decent field position for San Diego. We look at Week 6 and a tough, heartbreaking loss to Birmingham, 21-18. That game came down to the final minutes, and they just could not come away with the win. Same with Arizona. They were down big in that game, 12-0. Come back, take the lead 25-23, and then lose on a game-losing field goal. And we all know what happened against Salt Lake. 1st and 10. Bercovici will throw off play action. Deep down the field, and it's out of bounds. That'll bring up 2nd down. And we'll get a look at this Orlando defense, one that's playing well so far today. Got Leon Orr, Okine, Giorgio Newberry, also Josh Banks on the line. They've been playing great. Terrence Garvin and Azim Victor, a couple solid linebackers. Reggie Northrup on the outside. Will Hill, we saw him make a nice play. Cody Riggs with the interception. Mark Myers. Plenty of names on this Orlando defense. Another guy that I want to mention hasn't been talked about too much in this league, but Marquez White has been someone who's been playing all out week in and week out. He certainly made an impact on this team. 2nd and 10. Off play action again. Berkovici will throw deep down the field, and it's wide open. Nelson Spruce. Similar to the play that they ran earlier, and it goes for 23 yards. Nelson Spruce spicing things up for this Fleet offense. Mike Martz sticks with the play action, and this time it works nicely as Spruce gets him close to midfield. First and 10 coming up from the 46 as we're nearing the end of this first quarter. 1st and 10, off play action, excuse the dog. Berkovici, deep shot, and he overthrows Spruce, who was wide open down the seam. An unfortunate miss for Berkovici, who's had a couple bad throws already today. I just don't quite understand what really happened, and we look at his stats from last week against Salt Lake in a 26-0 blowout. 9 of 24, 139 yards and 3 interceptions, 17.9 QB rating. I mean, that is atrocious. On 2nd down, still going with the play action. I don't know why they're not trying to get Gardner going in this game. Berkovici just got to let it go. And he's intercepted for the 2nd time. Off the deflection. And who else but Cody Riggs to come down with it at the 45. Wow. Cody Riggs flies in there. That ball got tipped up. And he comes down with it. And Berkovici's got his 7th pick of the season. What a play by Mark Myers, who gets his hand in there. And Cody Riggs comes up with his 2nd takeaway of the day. And it's wild because, trying to get this up here. When was the last time Berkovici had thrown an interception up until... He had thrown an interception in week 5. But he only had 2 up until week 7. 1st and 10. Quick pass. Gilbert. Across the middle. It's complete. To the 49 goes Sean Price. And that should take us to the 2nd quarter. 2nd and 4 coming up for the Apollos when we resume action in the 2nd. Unless, yeah, they're not going to get a playoff here, I don't think. And they won't. They'll let it tick down to the 2nd quarter. 6-0 for Orlando. The hometown Apollos on top. Couple takeaways already thanks to Cody Riggs. And Orlando in a nice position here to take a 2-score lead if they can play their cards right. And considering Orlando is 4-4, they've been up and down throughout the season. A win here at home down the stretch would be pivotal. Garrett Gilbert takes it himself. Up the middle. 1st down to the 40. That's a gain of 9. They like to run that RPO with Garrett Gilbert, which is a weird play call. That's for sure. I mean, we've seen him fumble on that a couple of times, but this time he's able to secure the ball and charge forward for 9. First and 10 coming up from the 40 for Orlando. And they're coming off a heartbreaking loss to Memphis, 21-20 in week 8. They had a chance to go up by 1 point in the final minute on a 2-point try, and Garrett Gilbert got sacked. 1st and 10. There goes Johnson with running room. Dearness Johnson inside the 30 to the 27. And boy, oh boy, is he off to a fast start. Dearness Johnson getting it done on the ground for Orlando to start this game. 1st and 10 coming up from the 27. And can San Diego's defense get a stop? If they can at least hold them to a field goal here, that would be very helpful. To the outside goes Johnson, tries to make a move, but he goes backwards. It's a loss of 2, and there's a big play. That's Ryan Muller, the safety, with a tackle for loss right there. And he does an excellent job right here of getting into the backfield quickly and forcing Johnson to go backwards. 2nd and 12 now from the 29. Important play right now for Orlando's offense. They stay on the ground. Johnson with a hole. Taken down by Tarpley at the 24. And it brings up 3rd and 7. When you consider the way this game has gone so far, if the Fleet defense can hold up here, at least keep Orlando to 3 points, 9-0 is not too bad considering the turnovers that have set Orlando up at midfield both times. 3rd and 7, what is Steve Spurrier going to call? Gilbert to throw. Guns it across the middle, it's caught. 1st down and then some. Sean Price to the 15, and Orlando once again moves the chains and gets into the red zone for the 2nd time in 2 drives. This time, Garrett Gilbert does a great job of staring down the defense and then firing a bullet to Sean Price, who is wide open there at the 15-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Apollos. There goes Johnson on the ground. What a tackle by John Lodewelli. Smashes him down at the line. Maybe picks up 1, but they're going to say he's still at the 15-yard line. So that brings up about 2nd and 9, 2nd and 10. What a tackle. There was quite a bit of heat behind that one. 2nd and 9. Garrett Gilbert with a throw. Big blitz from San Diego. Over the top. It's caught. Jalen Marshall, he's into the end zone. Touchdown, Orlando. Marshall sneaks his way through those defenders, and he's in for another Apollos touchdown here in this 1st half. Great job by Garrett Gilbert realizing the pressure, sensing it, stepping up in the pocket, and delivering a strike to Marshall. Look at this sneaky way. He's just able to stop quickly and then dive forward into the end zone. And Steve Spurrier loves it. This is the type of offense that his team has needed to have, especially if they want to make it into the playoffs with the way Memphis has been playing. It's going to be down to the wire. 2-point try. Johnson is stacked up immediately at the 35. Great defense there by Tanelo Topu. Regardless of not getting that 2-point try, it's still an impressive march right there from Orlando, finished off by a touchdown for Jalen Marshall. Speaking of Marshall, he was responsible for the first ever AAF Simulated touchdown back in Week 1 against Atlanta. Here in Week 9, still that connection between him and Gilbert going strong. 5:53 to play in the 2nd quarter. And San Diego, they've just got to find a way to get back to what they do and do well. I want to see Jaquan Garner start getting the ball more often. I want to see Mike Bercovici looking more confident back in the pocket. We know how lethal this offense can be. I mean, just a couple weeks ago, they were putting up 37 points against Memphis. And Memphis has a great defense. So it's definitely not out of the question for them to start putting up points if they can just get this offense going as Brian Brown takes it up to the 30-yard line. We'll see. Plenty of time in this game. They also get the football for half, but so far, Bercovici 2 of 6, 42 yards and 2 picks. I mean, those are about as bad as stats as you can see. And it's just the 2nd quarter, so see if Mike Marks can get his team back into the swing of things here. And there's Garner trying to get to the outside, and he's stacked up. How about the defense by the Apollos? You saw Reggie Northrup in there, Azim Victor. And this Apollos defense shutting down the Fleet right now. It's been a while since we've seen Orlando play dominant football. Right now, they're certainly playing dominant football. 2nd and 10. Off play action. Bercovici to throw. Deep down the field, and he missed Dantes Ford. He had him open on that mid-range cross. Coming across the middle, could not connect. And it brings up 3rd and 10. San Diego in a dangerous position right now. I mean, if they continue to have these 3-and-outs and these turnovers and Orlando keeps scoring, this game is going to get away from them very, very quickly. 3rd and 10. Bercovici has to let go of the football. He's going to go deep down the field. It is caught? And it's PI on Ladarius Gunner. But it was hauled in. How about that? That is insanity. 1st and 10 now from the 12. I don't even know what to say. Brian Brown in motion. Berkovici to throw. Overthrows Brian Brown. So they got down to the 12. That pass went for what? Had to have gone for about 58 yards? I'm doing the math right. He just threw up a prayer and somehow it was caught. And there was PI. Crazy. 2nd and 10. Jaquan Gardner. He's down. Another loss on the play. And who else but Cody Riggs to be in there? My goodness. Cody Riggs. Have a day. He's just immediately there in the backfield and does not give up fighting. Gardner is a hard guy to tackle. He's small, he's quick, he's explosive. Probably slimy too. I mean, just difficult for him. I mean, it's difficult for guys to like grab hold of him. So an excellent fight there. 3rd and 11 now for the Fleet from the 13. Can they find a way to get in the end zone? Berkovici backing up. Taking an end zone shot, and he missed him. He had Brian Brown cut into the outside. Couldn't find him. And looks like the Fleet are going to have to settle for 3. Certainly better than 0, but that's disappointing after they got that crazy play to set him up in the red zone. And you've got to make this throw if you're Mike Berkovici. Brian Brown is open, cutting towards the sidelines. You squeeze that one in there, and you got yourself a touchdown. Instead, Donnie Hageman's going to have to come on for a field goal. 30-yard attempt. Hageman to make this a 12-3 ball game with a little bit under 4 minutes left to play. Kick is up. Is right down the middle. Is 12-3. The Apollo's on top, but San Diego able to get on the board for the first time in about 6 quarters. It's at least got to feel relatively decent for this offense to get somewhat of a building block right now. Try and just get something going. Mike Martz, his offense has been dead in the water. They're going to need more than those prayers to make something happen. 12-3. Hageman after the field goal, on to kick it away. Back to receive. Keem Hunt taking it from about the 4-yard line. He's got speed. And he'll take it up to the 32. So, honestly, plenty of time right now for the Apollos to march down and try to get some more points here before this half is over. You got 3.5 minutes to play. You got all 3 timeouts. Plenty of time for them to come up with something. First and 10. See what they decide to do here on first down. Off play action. Gilbert will throw. Deep down the field. He's got his man. That's Charles Johnson down to the 40 for the first time today. He finds his favorite receiver. And that one goes for 28. Oh, never mind. That's the second time. Anyways, it's a big connection for 28 yards. And look at that from Gilbert. Saw a little stat line go by. He's 9 for 10 on the day. Efficient first half for Garrett Gilbert, and let's see if he can keep it up. Ideally, if you're Orlando, you're able to run out pretty much all of this clock and get at least 3, ideally 6 or 8. First and 10 from the 40. Blitz from San Diego. Gilbert, deep down the field. He's got a man wide open. It's hauled in. Sean Price down to the 15. Orlando is taking aim right now, folks. They are certainly playing like a team that belongs in the playoffs right now. A beauty. Over the top, drops it in the bucket. Sean Price. First and 10 now from the 15. Nearing the 2-minute warning. Gilbert to throw. Guns it. It's caught. That's Sean Price all the way down to the 3. And Orlando is on fire right now with another big reception. And that'll take us to the 2-minute warning. 12-3, Orlando in control. And with a golden opportunity right now to add on to their lead at the 3-yard line. San Diego's defense just struggling to get any sort of stop right now. Garrett Gilbert is killing him through the air. First and goal. All receivers spread wide for Gilbert. Can he have enough time, though, to get a pass off? Back to throw. Blitz from San Diego. He's got to let it go, and no, he's not. How about that play by Gellin Robinson, taking him down all the way back at the 11. And that's exactly what I was afraid of for Garrett Gilbert. He does a very bad job of getting rid of the football when he's got pressure in his face. He sees Robinson coming at him, and he can't back up like that. He's just got to chuck it away, or at least try to run. Backing up is not really going to do you much. That's a big play for San Diego. If they can at least hold Orlando to a field goal here, they get the ball for half, they can really turn this game around. Another blitz from San Diego. Has to dump it off, and it's caught. Gets him back inside the 10 to the 8. Jalen Marshall, and it brings up 3rd and goal at the 8. I will say, the positive right now for Orlando is that because of the sack and them not getting in the end zone immediately, they're running down a lot of clock. The thing is, it's going to be disappointing if they have to settle for a field goal here, because I'm sure they would have rather had the points. 3rd and goal from the 8. Back to throw is Gilbert. Stepping up in the pocket. He's got to let it go. Just got to throw the football. He is the worst at getting the football away, I'll tell you that much. San Diego uses the timeout, and Orlando will have to settle for 3. I just don't understand why Madden still can't get this stuff right. Like, a quarterback in that situation would have either ran, he would have gotten out of the pocket. Even if it's a pocket passer like Tom Brady, he would have done something with the football. So, anyways, Elliott Fry now on for a 34-yard field goal attempt to put the lead back up to 12 if he can knock it through. Kick is on his way. It's good. 15-3, Orlando with the lead. And a little bit under a minute left in this first half. Solid kick from Fry. And the Apollos with a swift march down the field and not a whole lot of time. Unfortunate they couldn't punch it in, but 3 points is 3 points. San Diego, 58 seconds, 2 timeouts. I don't really think there's a whole lot that they can do in this situation. If I'm San Diego, I'm just trying to maybe have a couple nice plays, give yourself a little bit of momentum going into half, and then get the ball, swiftly march down the field to open up the 3rd quarter, make a statement, and let Orlando know this game's far from over. Brian Brown will take a knee, so that'll let them have 58 seconds. Try to make something happen. 1st and 10. Back to throw is Bergavici. Pass is caught on the outside. Taking down the 31, that's Marcus Ball, the tight end, with the reception. Second and 4 coming up as the Fleet only have 1 timeout remaining. Second and 4. What is Mike Marsh going to dial up here? Back to throw is Bergavici. Quick pass. It's caught. And off to the races goes Brian Brown. Are you kidding me? How in the world did he break loose? He's all the way down to the 26. What a play. And San Diego has a chance now to score. Brian Brown sneaks outside. Just a little simple screen. It's a missed tackle. And then there's just nobody home for a while. And Mark Myers at least is able to bring him down, because otherwise, Brown might have gone all the way. Wouldn't that have been crazy? how is time not running? He was tackled in bounds. They didn't use a timeout. That's weird. 1st and 10. Berkovici lets it go. It's incomplete. Brings up 2nd and 10. And right now, if I'm Mike Martz, I'm going to play it a little bit. I mean, at this point, with everything that's on the line, why not take some end zone shots here? Why not try to get something positive, considering how difficult it's been for them to get anything for most of this game? Another errant throw from Berkovici, who's barely completing over 30% of his passes right now. It has not been a good day for him, despite some of these big plays. I mean, he threw up a prayer, and it happened to be caught. Brian Brown slipped out of a screen. Berkovici hasn't done much. He certainly does not look like the quarterback he was in that first half of the season. 3rd and 10 from the 26. Mike Berkovici with all sorts of time. Dumps it off. Misses the... He missed that. Wow. 4th down. And I would assume San Diego kicks a field goal here to bring it back within 9 points. Donnie Hageman now for a 43-yard field goal attempt to bring this game within 9 points. It's a slow kick and it's blocked. It's kicked around and then picked up by Orlando. Azim Victor falls on it. So all of that, and San Diego does not get the points. It's blocked by, I think, McManus. What a play by the cornerback that keeps it a 12-point game, and San Diego just cannot catch a break here on the road. Jarvis Johnson, 9 carries, 45 yards, and a touchdown. I'll be honest, Orlando will be pretty crazy right now to try to score, but hey, if they do, good for them. Gilbert deep. It's caught. Sean Price at the 44, and they call a timeout. Gotta say, I know Garrett Gilbert's not the... He has a really hard time in the red zone, but between the 20s, he is unbelievable with some of the throws he makes. That is a beauty of a pass over the heads of those linebackers. Drops in the bucket to Sean Price, who's got 75 yards. Orlando has a chance here to kick a field goal if they can manage the clock right. Gilbert will throw again. Darts it underneath. That's caught. Charles Johnson down at the 36. And now they use a timeout with 10 seconds. They should be able to run just a quick short play, like a nice little slant or something, and then try to get a field goal. So that is the 3 turnovers now for San Diego in this first half. Excuse me. 2nd and 3 from the 36. All receivers for right now. Garrett Gilbert's got to make sure he does not hang on to the football for too long. Darts it. It's caught on the sidelines, and he gets out of bounds at the 23. Chris Thompson with a nice reception. And if I'm Orlando, I'm kicking a field goal right now. We'll see if Madden is smart enough to do it. And they are. Elliott Fry now for a 40-yard field goal attempt to make it an 18-3 game, given the largest lead that they've had today. Kick is up. It's good. 18-3 Orlando on top. And San Diego could not have had a worse first half, in my opinion. Everything did not go their way when it comes to just getting the right play calls, the blocked field goals, the tipped interceptions. It's rough. (18-3), 2 seconds left for San Diego here in this first half. Elliott Fry sends it away. Brian Brown will take it out of the end zone, so this will close out the first half. And he's taken down, and that'll take us to halftime. what a first half for the hometown Orlando Apollos. They lead 18-3 as we're going to head into the third quarter in just a minute. Garrett Gilbert making some beautiful throws. Cody Riggs with a couple interceptions. And it's been fantastic football for the Apollos. Going to skip over the halftime report since it's kind of useless. And we welcome you back right now to Orlando. The Apollos 18, San Diego 3. Both these teams 4-4. Both these teams desperately need this win to try to make a push at making the playoffs. I'd say Orlando's in a bit of a better spot right now, just because they are split with Memphis, and Memphis is 4-5. Meanwhile, Arizona is 4-4, and Arizona has a win over San Diego. So if the Fleet lose here, that really puts them in a bad spot. Orlando, if they lose here, they still have about a 50-50 chance heading into week 10. Regardless, this is going to hurt either team, whoever loses. Elliott Fry sends it away. Second half is underway. Brian Brown looking to return, spinning out of some tackles, and takes it up to the 28. And it has been an excellent day for this Orlando defense. Cody Riggs with 2 interceptions so far in this game. They've been all over the place. A blocked field goal. It's been a good day for the Apollos so far. 18-3. What is Mike Martz going to do here? Can he get Jaquan Gardner going or Mike Bercovici? On the ground is Gardner up to 30. Oh, actually, no, it's Terrell Watson who takes it up to 34. Gain of 6. Brings up 2nd and 4. I know Orlando has dominated this game, and it's a 15-point game right now. Folks, we got 2 whole quarters to play. All San Diego needs is a simple march down the field, get a touchdown, get the 2-point conversion. It's a 7-point game. You're right back in the thick of things. 2nd and 4 from the 34. Back to throw is Bercovici. Heavy pressure. It's caught. Marcus Ball, the tight end, up to the 45. Nice gain on the play for San Diego. They're getting close to midfield. Marcus Ball, he's had a couple monster games here in the AAF Simulated. Week 1, 6 catches, 128 yards and a touchdown. That was a game to remember. 1st and 10. There goes Watson, and this time he's taken down immediately behind the line. That's Giorgio Newberry on the tackle. And got back to the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 10. Yeah, I mean, Marcus Ball is someone that's just been doing it pretty much every single week. Even the loss against Salt Lake, he had 5 catches for 55 yards. 2nd and 9. Off-play action. Bercovici with time, going deep, man wide open. There's Dantes Ford, makes a move, and off to the races. Down the sidelines he goes, and he's into the end zone for the touchdown. San Diego finally gets in the end zone with some trickery by Dantes Ford. A nice throw from Bercovici, and it's 18-9 here in Orlando. A perfect pass, and Dantes Ford with the agility, the moves, and the speed. That is his 6th touchdown of the season, folks. Dantes Ford putting on a clinic here in the AAF Simulated. To have 6 receiving touchdowns is quite the feat. He now passes Reese Horn, who is tied with him at 5. 2-point try. Bercovici lets it go and is knocked away. So it will stay a 2-point game, a 2-score game, excuse me. But that is a big score for San Diego nonetheless. 18-9 is obviously quite a bit better than 18-3. And also, Mike Bercovici has finally thrown a touchdown for the first time in about it's got to be going on 8 quarters now at least. Nice play by Ladarius Gunner, getting a hand in there, making sure that 2-point try didn't go, because now San Diego still needs to score twice if they want to take the lead or tie things up, while simultaneously slowing down Orlando's offense that has been red hot, putting up 18 points in that first half. Far from over here in Orlando. Donnie Hageman now. He'll send it away. Back to receive is Akeem Hunt. Takes it from about the 3-yard line. Trying to cut it upfield, taking down the 28. And that's where Orlando will set up shop for their opening drive of the third quarter. First and 10. What is Steve Spurrier going to dial up? All play action. Quick pass is tipped and intercepted. Picked off by San Diego. That's A.J. Tarpley who intercepts it at the 34. You've got to be kidding me. What a turn of events to open up this second half. Not necessarily Gilbert's fault. He's going off that quick play action. That ball just gets tipped. It hits off Jordan Martin's helmet. And A.J. Tarpley just happens to be there to make the play. A.J. Tarpley, one of those veteran linebackers, just has such incredible IQ for the game. How about that? San Diego now sets up shop at the 34. A golden opportunity for them to get within one score. Marcus Ball goes in motion. On the ground, Jaquan Gardner runs right into Azim Victor. Taking down the 34. He's got 5 carries and still in the negative. Goes to show how well Orlando has been playing him today. Second and 10 now from the 34. What a big takeaway from that Fleet defense. Off play action. Bercovici with time. Deep down the field. There's Dantes Ford again. Same play, same angle. And he's down to the 1. So close to getting in that end zone. But Dantes Ford, man, is he coming on here early on this third quarter. And it's the same play. Just coming across on that deep crossing route. And barely knocked out of bounds by Cody Riggs before he gets in the end zone. First and goal at the 1. San Diego with the chance to score 2 touchdowns within just a couple minutes. Bercovici to throw. Guns it, and incomplete. Just misses his man, and it brings up second and goal from the 1. Wonder if they're going to go, maybe give it to their bigger back here, Terrell Watson. Let him try to lumber into the end zone. If I'm Mike Martz, I'm at least giving that a try once. If I'm correct, that is Watson there in the backfield. It's kind of hard to see the number. Second and goal. There's Watson. He walks right into the end zone. I'm turning into Tony Romo with these calls. How about that? That's exactly what I said to do. Give Terrell Watson the football and let him get in the end zone. It's 18-15, folks. We have a ball game in Orlando. Struts right in, untouched. And the Fleet are now down by 3. Within just a couple of minutes as well. (18-15), and now San Diego can make it a 1-point game if they can get this 2-point try. Back to throws Bercovici. He's pressured. Lets it go. It's caught. Brian Brown, and it's 18-17. 14 quick points from the Fleet to get him right back into the thick of things in this one. And not surprised to see Steve Spurrier disappointed. I mean, his team was playing phenomenal. Kind of got a fluky, not a fluky touchdown, but a touchdown where you had a few missed tackles, then a tip interception, an easy march, short field for the Fleet. And Orlando really needs to answer right now on offense. Hageman sends it away. Back to receive. Hunt. He's got a little bit of room to run and then taken down at the 26. It's crazy. If it wasn't for that blocked field goal that ended up leading to 3 Orlando points, San Diego would have a 5-point lead right now. Garrett Gilbert, I mean, he was playing a great game today. He still is playing a great game. 15-17, 169 yards, a touchdown. Just had that tipped interception there that really messed things up. Let's see if he can bounce back from that. 1st and 10 from their own 26. On the ground, Johnson trying to find a lane. AJ Tarpley there take him down after a gain of 3. Brings up 2nd and 7. Dearness Johnson closing in on having a 50-yard game. Something he has done in, I think, almost every game. Week 1, Week 2, Week 3, Week 4, 2nd and 7. There goes Johnson. He's got it, and he's got room to run. Johnson all the way up to the 39. Now he's got 59 on the day. Week 5, yes, he had it. Week 6, no. Week 6, he only had 28. Week 7, he had well over 100, and he had it last week. So, in now 8 of 9 weeks, he has had at least 50 yards on the ground. And I know 50 yards doesn't sound like a lot, but that is 50 yards of offense that really contributes, especially in big situations like that. Stay on the ground, why not? Swung down the 42-yard line. It's AJ Tarpley again, but not before it's another gain of 3. And I like this right now. C. Sprayer just kind of playing it methodically, letting Johnson get his offensive momentum. So then Garrett Gilbert can hopefully start airing it out within the next couple of plays. 2nd and 7 now from the 42. Off play action. Gilbert is blown up. That play does not work at all. And it brings up 3rd and 9. Miles Nash along with Ron Brooks in there. And AJ Tarpley, of course. Tarpley's just literally everywhere. Last week, 10 tackles. Couple tackles for loss. Week before that, 11 tackles. Week before that, 5. 3rd and 9. Big play for Orlando. Can they get some momentum back here? Gilbert with time. He's going to go deep down the field. Airing it out. Knocked away and no PI is called. Ryan Muller forces the incompletion. And Orlando's going to have to punt. Boy, oh boy, has this been a different third quarter than what I was expecting. I really thought Orlando had momentum, and that certainly looked like... Oh, yeah. I mean, Muller runs right into Marshall, kind of grabs onto him there and stops him from getting to the football with his back turned to the ball as well. Missed call, and Orlando's going to have to punt. What a big stop, though, from San Diego, who has really turned this thing around. They're going to have an opportunity to take the lead. Ben Turk to boot it away. Ron Brooks back to receive. He's going to let it go. Can he get a bounce? Oh, he's not. That is unfortunate. If that bounced a little bit differently, could have been pinned. So, San Diego to get the ball at the 20. Mike Martz got his team right back into this game. Can they take the lead? Terrell Watson trying to get him to the outside, and Reggie Northrup says, no, sir. What a tackle by Northrup. That was one heck of a hit. He got absolutely blasted. 2nd and 11 coming up now from the 19 for the Fleet. San Diego now has more offensive yards, which is pretty impressive. All play action. Bercovici in trouble, and he goes down. What a big sack by Giorgio Newberry, who also had some help from Reggie Northrup. And Orlando gets their first sack of the day. All the way back at the 11. Bercovici coming off this play action. Giorgio Newberry just completely beats his guy immediately. And Northrup was also right in his face. There was no getting out of that one for Bercovici. 3rd and 19 from the 11, and San Diego needs a big play to keep this drive alive. Back to throw. Berkovici with time. Just gotta let the football go. Backing up. Lets it rip. It's caught, but he's just short of the sticks. Brian Brown will come up a yard short. And I would assume San Diego's going to punt it. This is an incredible throw by Berkovici. Lets Brian Brown get to the football. He's literally falling over as he's throwing it. And Berkovici drops it in there. But come up a yard short. And I'd expect March to play it safe. He will. Sam Irwin-Hill on to punt it away. Back to receive is Jalen Marshall, who's got a touchdown on the day, and he takes it up to the 30-yard line. Minute and a half to play in this third quarter. Orlando hanging on to a 1-point lead. Let's see if they can march down the field and get this offense back in a groove. Gonna screen it out to Johnson, who goes nowhere. Losing yardage back at the 28. And this offense has been not very good for Orlando in this third quarter. And Johnson just he catches it and runs backwards, which I know is more just Madden than anything, but it's kind of frustrating to see, that's for sure. 2nd and 12. Under a minute left in this third quarter. They go on the ground. Johnson trying to find a lane and fights up to the 34. Brings up 3rd and 6. Ernest Johnson doing everything he can right now on the ground. Big 3rd down for the Apollos. I mean, they need to convert here. They cannot afford to have a 3-and-out and allow San Diego to have another opportunity to take the lead. They've got to march down right now. 3rd and 6. Gilbert will throw. Guns it. It's caught by Johnson, but he's short. What a tackle by Eric Pinkins. And that'll take us to the fourth quarter. 18-17, 14 unanswered points from San Diego in the third, and they are going to get the football back to start the fourth quarter. My, have things gotten interesting here in Orlando. Ben Turk has to punt it, and this might be blocked. Barely gets it away. I thought it was going to be blocked. Brooks with a fair catch at the 12. So a lot of work to do for San Diego. That was almost an absolute disaster for the Apollos. Regardless, it has not been good for them this second half. Berkovici's been looking way better here in this second half. A lot of work to do, though, to get the lead. Quick pass. It's intercepted! Picked off by Terrence Garvin, and he's going to take it into the end zone for an Apollos touchdown. A pick six. Third interception of the day for this Apollos defense. And what a play by Terrence Garvin. He just reads that one. I don't know really what happens there. Gardner misses it, and Garvin comes in. Trying to understand exactly. Yeah, it's just miscommunication between Gardner and Berkovici. Terrence Garvin takes advantage. Touchdown Orlando. And boy, oh boy, that was huge. 2-point try now for the Apollos. Can they get back up by 2 scores? This is massive. They're over 2 in the day with these so far. Gilbert to pass. He's got it, but there is a flag. Oh, it doesn't matter. They get it. He finds Charles Johnson. The 2-point try is good. And it's 26-17. The Apollos back up by 9. What a play. I wish I could skip these interludes. I know I've said it before, but we don't need his interludes, Madden. Thank you. While there is this interlude, though, if you're not subscribed to the channel, what are you doing? Subscribe. Follow us on Twitter. Stay up to date. The AAF Championship is not that far away. Get with the system, people. 26-17. My goodness, what in the world is taking this interlude so long? Imagine if the game just broke or something. There we go. Elliott Fry now to send it away. And within 11 seconds, Orlando put up a quick 8 points. On the return is Brown, who's taken down by the face mask. And that is uncalled for by Cody Riggs, who I really can't harp on because of the performance he's having today. But that's just a stupid penalty. You push him all the way up to the 40, and that just immediately boosts San Diego offense for this drive. Mike Martz has got to be a little bit disappointed after what happened on that last pass. But got to stick with it. That's a game of football. Things like that happen. Playoffs on the line right now. See if Berkovici can get his head back into it. Quick pass to the sidelines. Caught by Marcus Ball. And makes a nice adjustment to the 48. And that's the crazy thing about Berkovici. He's only got 10 completions, but he's got 276 yards. He's completing less than 50% of his passes this game. He's got 276 yards. It is one of the weirdest paradoxes I have seen here in the AAF Simulated. Really doesn't make much sense. Nelson Spruce in motion. Back to throw. Berkovici stepping up. There's Spruce. And that'll take him to the 40. Orlando's defense cannot get comfortable right now. There's 9 minutes left in this game. It's only a 9-point game. Plenty of time for San Diego. As we saw in the start of the third, they put up those 14 points so quickly, so we'll see. 1st and 10. Stepping up in the pocket is Berkovici. Letting it rip down the seam, and it's overthrown. Incomplete. Brings up 2nd down. What a fun game this has been, though. We've had a lot of really close back-and-forth games during the AAF Simulated. I'd say even more so than the XFL Simulated. It's been a lot of even matches and just fun games to watch, without a doubt. 2nd and 10 from the 40. Berkovici to throw. It's caught by Nelson Spruce. Tries to turn it upfield. Gains 5. 3rd and 5. A huge 3rd and 5 for the Fleet from Orlando's 35. You'd say they're right around field goal range right now. A field goal would make it a 6-point game, but ultimately you convert here because a 52-yard field goal attempt is pretty difficult to make. See what Mike Martz dials up. Berkovici to throw. Orlando's pressure backs off. He's going deep. It's knocked away. Man, that was right through the hands of Ben Johnson, the tight end. He had it and was jarred loose with a big hit from a couple Orlando defenders. That's Azim Victor and Ladarius Gunner with a big hit. So now what do? I would send out the field goal unit, and they will. Can Donnie Hageman knock through a 52-yard field goal to make this a 6-point game? Kick is on its way. It's off the lower crossbar. You've got to be kidding me. Hageman comes up just short. That is heartbreaking. Man, it was down the middle. Would have been good. And Mike Martz, certainly frustrated, and I don't blame him. It's still a 9-point game, and that might just make this one a little bit too difficult to come back in. We'll see. 1st and 10. Gilbert overthrows Sean Price. Brings up 2nd down. Man, that is just not what you want to do as a kicker in a playoff game, basically, for either one of these teams to miss a field goal by that tiny margin. 26-20 is so much more feasible. Delayed give. Johnson makes a move, and Dearness Johnson is off to the races, going down the sidelines. Brooks can't take him down. The 10, the 5. Touchdown, Dearness Johnson. What a run from the explosive back who now has well over 100 yards on the day. That was ridiculous. That one goes for 58 yards. Look at this. The explosiveness, the move he puts on Cameron Kelly, who is one of the best safeties in this league. And then he turns on the Jets, beats Ron Brooks, beats Demetrius Wright, and Orlando is blowing this thing open in the fourth quarter. Unbelievable. Dearness Johnson now, that's his 5th touchdown of the season. Two-point try to make it a 17-point game. Swings it out. It's caught. He's in. Two-point try is good for Scott Orndorff. And Orlando is up 34-17 just like that. Steve Spurrier loves it. And this offense has come alive again. Props to Dearness Johnson. Dearness Johnson has had not only some incredible 50 yards in almost every single game, he's had 100 quite a bit. See how many 100 yards games he's had. Weeks 1 and 2 he had 84 and 91, so close. Week 3, 102. Week 5, that's only 68 there. He had 125 in week 7. And this is his third 100-yard game of the year. 31-yard return by Brian Brown. Takes it to 31. And San Diego with a lot of work to do. Mike Bergovizzi with some interesting stats there. 1st and 10 from the 31. Fleets are in trouble now. Bergovizzi with time. Step up in the pocket. Gotta let it go. Does to the sideline, but it's incomplete. Out of bounds for Marcus Baugh. And right now, it's not looking too good for San Diego. If they lose this game, they now lose 4 in a row. They drop to 4 and 5, and they close out against Arizona. Now remember, Arizona beat them already this season. However, if Arizona loses in their upcoming game against Birmingham, that does leave the door open. Deep down the field, that's Marcus Baugh. Who is Arizona playing? I think it's Birmingham. Yes, it is. That's going to be a tough game for Arizona, to be honest. That's going to be a good one. This is a nice one from Berkovich. Finds his man in stride. Able to turn upfield. First and 10 coming up from the 49. Still some time left. The Fleet can miraculously put this together. Berkovich will throw. Zips it deep down the field again. There's Nelson Spruce. All the way down to the 32-yard line. And Berkovich does have 30 yards, which is incredible. San Diego not entirely out of it yet. Nelson Spruce has been absolutely unstoppable, especially the last several weeks. First and 10 from the 32. A little bit over 6 minutes to play. Back to throw is Berkovich. Going to the sidelines, knocked away, and that was Cody Riggs, who almost just had his 3rd pick of the game. Imagine if he would have been able to come up with that one. That would have been incredible. 2nd and 10. Jaquan Gardner still doesn't even have a positive run, really. 2nd and 10. Lobbing it for Gardner, who once again just miscommunication. They have not been on the same page today. Excuse me. 3rd and 10 with 6:01 to go. Back to throws Berkovich, blitz from Orlando, going deep, and he can't find his man. Brian Brown would have been able to waltz into the end zone if he dropped that one in the bucket. He doesn't, and that'll bring up 4th down. Look at this. Brian Brown has a couple steps. Now 4th and 10, they're going to have to go for it here. Might as well. Down by 17 with under 6 to play. Bergavici to throw. The pressure backs off. Same play. And it's knocked away. Incomplete. Orlando takes over. Marquez White with some excellent coverage. And Orlando stands strong. 1st and 10 for Orlando, and now you can kind of start trying to run out the clock here. Just milk the rest of this game. There goes Johnson, breaking through tackles and past the 40. Gain of 8 brings up 2nd and 2. And the Apollos, the way their offenses look today, if they can keep this up heading into the playoffs, they certainly have a chance at making the championship. They've been kind of dormant the last couple weeks, but playing excellent today. There goes Johnson. That's another 1st down to the 45. We're now under 5 minutes to play. I think the writing's on the wall for this one. I know I can never say never, but 17-point game. Not a whole lot of time for San Diego. There goes Johnson on the ground. Spins up to the 46. 2nd and 9 coming up. You wonder if Orlando, if their offense can play to its full potential each and every week, is there a defense that can stop them? And I don't know. 2nd and 9. They give it to Sean Price on the end around. Look at that trickery. That's another 1st down into San Diego territory to the 45. And Steve Spurrier's just having fun with it right now. What a 4th quarter. We saw San Diego storm back in that early 3rd with a couple huge plays. But Orlando just came out of the gate in the 4th, the pick 6. Dearness Johnson with a 58-yard touchdown run. And the rest has been history.
Here we go. 60 Pittsburgh.
1st and 10. And this time Johnson goes nowhere. What a play in the backfield. Actually, that was Akeem Hunt. AJ Tarpley in there to make a play. He's got 11 tackles today. He's got an interception. He can literally do it all. 2nd and 13. They stay on the ground. It's Johnson. Takes it back inside the 45 to the 44, and it brings up 3rd and 9. Third and 9 as we are under 3 minutes to play. Orlando ready to finally get back above 500. Improve to 5 and 4. See if they can. 3rd and 9. Gilbert rips it across the middle. It's caught. There goes Jalen Marshall with a 26. And Orlando has been relentless through the air and on the ground. Fleet have not had many answers defensively for Garrett Gilbert. I know they had an interception, but granted that was off a deflection off someone's helmet. Besides that, they have not done a whole lot to slow down Orlando, with the exception of a couple nice plays in the 3rd quarter. And we've hit the 2-minute warning here in Orlando. Hometown Apollos in control, 34-17 over the visiting San Diego Fleet. Orlando looking to improve to 5 and 4. Meanwhile, San Diego ready to drop to 4 and 5, losing their last 4 games in a row. And they're going to need a lot to go their way in Week 10. And the rest of Week 9 here as well. 1st and 10. They pitch it out to Johnson. He's got a lane. Dearness Johnson down the sidelines. Why not another touchdown? That one goes for 26 yards. And Orlando is on top 40-17. Dearness Johnson is having an incredible performance today, guys. Insane. And definitely the most yards he's ever had this season. Couldn't have come at a better time for Orlando, who desperately needed a big win at home. 40-17. I wish they would just show me Johnson's stats so we could see how many yards he has. They haven't shown me that in a little while. 2-point try to make it a 42-17 lead. Gilbert in trouble. Who'll go down? Taken down the backfield by Galen Robinson. Actually, no, Andrew Stelter. Remains a 23-point game. Dearness Johnson. Have a day. And at first I thought Cody Riggs was going to get MVP of the game, but I don't know. Now it's kind of a toss-up between him and Dearness Johnson. Two dogs who are absolutely balling on the field today. (40-17). Minute 55 left to play, and this one will be over. Orlando with a 22-point fourth quarter. That is incredible. Brian Brown on the return. He'll take it up to the 30, and that's where San Diego sets up shop. Mike Bercovici almost got this team the lead. They had an opportunity to take the lead, which is crazy. Rips it down the field. It's incomplete. 14-34. His completion percentage has not been very good. 2nd and 10 from the 30. Second and 10. Back to throw is Bercovici. Deep down the field. It's caught. Hauled in at the 44 by Marcus Baugh, the tight end. And San Diego kind of a last little breath of fresh air here as this game continues to wind down towards the final minutes. Bercovici. Same play, and it works. Finds his man, Brian Brown, at the 21. And he gets out of bounds for a gain of 24. Bercovici's going to have a 400-yard day. And they're still going to lose by at least 15, 16 points, which is crazy. Minute 15 to play from the 21. See if the Fleet can just get one more score here in the final minutes of this one. Bercovici back to throw. He's got Gardner who makes the catch at the 18. Brings up 2nd and 7. Mike Mart's got to be kind of confused as to what all happened in these final 10 minutes of the game. I mean, it was 18-17. His team had the ball. Off play action. Bercovici. End zone shot way overthrown. Brings up 3rd and 7. But you know what's crazy? Sequence of events to start the fourth quarter. Orlando was punting. The punt was a millimeter away from being blocked. Instead, San Diego had to set up shop at their own 12 after the Ron Brooks fair catch. And then, it was a pick 6 by Terrence Garvin on the very next play. Miscommunication between Bercovici and Juan Gardner. So, it's just wild the way football works. 3rd and 7, and he goes down. Another sack, this time for Anthony Moten Jr. All the way back at the 26. And that just puts an exclamation point, the cherry on top, on this one. 4th and 15, might as well go for it. Why the heck not? 20 seconds to go. Bercovici lets it rip. It's intercepted again. Picked off in the end zone by Marquez White. 4th interception of the day for Mike Bercovici, and Orlando has just had an absolute monster 4th quarter. I can't blame this one. I mean, it's 4th and 15. Of course you're going to throw it to the end zone in the final couple minutes here. But What a finish to this game for the Apollos. There goes Johnson. 20 carries, 176 yards, 3 touchdowns, folks. 3 touchdowns. And that does it. Orlando with a massive win at home, 40-17 over the visiting San Diego Fleet. Orlando improves to 5-4 and is one step closer to clinching the playoffs there in the East Division. Dearness Johnson gets player of the game, well deserved. 20 carries, 176 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Although, definitely want to mention Cody Riggs, who had those 2 interceptions that really helped Orlando out in the first. San Diego came all the way back and then gave up 22 unanswered points in that fourth quarter. The Apollos ran away with it. The Fleet have now lost 4 straight as they drop to 4-5 on the season. Their playoff hopes dwindling by the second. And that'll do it for us here at the AAF Simulated. Thank you all for joining us in this game. We hope you enjoyed it. It was a fun one as Orlando ended up running away with it in the end. Garrett Gilbert played pretty dang well. It was fun. Thank you for watching. Hope you all enjoyed as I mentioned. Make sure to go follow us on Twitter if you haven't already. Subscribe to the YouTube channel here. And of course, check out the AAF sheets down in the description below. You get access to individual player stats, game stats, season stats, the standings, and so much more. It's all there for you to view. Thanks again for all the support you give us. Hope to see you next game. It'll be a good one.